They may not do policing. The best thing they can do is the behind-the-scenes work.
Governor Lujan Grisham trying to clarify this afternoon what exactly is going to happen after she made what some are labeling a bombshell announcement, leaving the policing to police and handing over the support work to the National Guard. Now, the governor says that's the idea behind deploying guardsmen and women to Albuquerque to help with the crime crisis.
And she, along with Albuquerque city leaders, insists the National Guard will not be acting as police officers, but she also says they could be here for a while. We've got team coverage on this breaking news tonight. Let's get started with Cassie Foote in downtown Albuquerque. Cassie, what exactly will the National Guard do once they're here?
So their main role really is going to be to support Albuquerque police officers, so then those officers can be out on our streets fighting crime. And APD Chief Harold Medina points to our central corridor as an area that needs a lot of help. In the letter that Chief Medina sent to the governor requesting the assistance, states they need help keeping up progress that they have already made along Central. So the National Guard will be responding to medical emergencies, de-escalating potentially volatile encounters, and handing out water and food to homeless people. They'll also be doing security at crime scenes and traffic control for accidents, transporting prisoners, and helping TSA out at our Sunport. Basically, if it's something that would tie up an APD officer from being out and making arrests, that's where the National Guard would step in.
Our officers spend a lot of time on scenes that they don't need to. We have officers guarding violent crime scenes for up to 6, 8, 12 hours. We have officers guarding fatal traffic accidents, 6, 8, 12 hours. If I could start taking 6 hours off some of these on-scene clears, it's going to make a huge difference, and it's going to start swaying and putting our officers back into service and getting resources out to the community at even a faster pace.
Going through to accomplish the one goal is making Albuquerque safe.
And the training work has already begun this week for these National Guard service members who are preparing to help Albuquerque police fight crime on Central. On Monday, APD says guardsmen and women began learning about how to serve in the role of helping out officers in the field.
Again, the civilian components that we currently are utilizing, that's going to be the same roles that the National Guardsmen are going to be plugged into to fill it. And that just frees up officers so we can be more efficient. We have more time to really focus on police work.
APD says guard members are starting with 160 hours of training before they hit the streets of Albuquerque in mid-May. Most of those hours will be in classroom, but some in-field training will also take place, including learning how to direct traffic.
We want them to be aware, and then also there's going to be procedural stuff that they're going to be in particular having to know of our standard operating procedures that they're aware of, so that they're also in compliance with, our policies, and of course they'll establish their own policies as well.
APD says the Guard's main role will be to observe and report, with 36 Guard members assisting on crime scene security during critical incidents and investigations. Another 12 Guardsmen and women will help with the real-time crime center. The final 12 service members will help with prisoner transport.
There are people on every street corner. And so what do we do to start to provide treatment or an option or create an environment which is welcoming for people who want help? But if you don't want help, allowing you to sleep on the streets of Albuquerque, how is that a viable solution?
If someone wants a bed tonight in the city of Albuquerque, they have one. It's guaranteed. Other cities are enforcing these things. But this administration uses those excuses to be able to coddle to that side, which is just absolutely outrageous. And
isn't it though? Because when you see like the ACLU, to me, it's just an absolute, they're agents of chaos. They want chaos. And how is it that a group like the ACLU who says, we want to leave people on the streets to continue to be addicted, and that ends one way, they end up dying.
Yep.
When the reality is the compassionate approach is you offer them help. And if they won't take help, you don't let them sleep on the streets.
Right. They were made homeless in another city, another state, and they were told that Albuquerque would leave them alone.
Volunteers from Sandia National Labs are stepping up to help the city of Albuquerque fight crime. To do so, the team looked at years' worth of data to try to determine how police can use crime-fighting technology just a little bit better.
So you would place their crime-fighting cameras. Something happens, they put up a camera. Well, now with the help from Sandia Labs, police say they are moving to a more proactive response to crime using data and science.
This tool is going to be a game changer for us.
As you go out and about around Albuquerque, you might not realize it, but you are being watched. The city and APD says they have access to over 13,000 cameras across town. They use those cameras to help track down criminals.
We've invested in thousands of cameras all over the city.
While Mayor Tim Keller says the reliance on technology is working to bring crime down, both he and police acknowledge it could be better.
If you know where your crime is, you can put cameras there. Well, there's more to it than that.
That's where this group of volunteers from Sandia National Labs comes in. They looked at 5 years worth of crime data and camera placement from APD along Central Avenue, a high-traffic, high-crime area. What they found, not all of the city cameras were placed in a useful position.
We may or may not have put up some cameras that worked great during the winter, and then all of a sudden the trees got leaves, and then those cameras don't work as good.
The Sandia employees say their data analysis helps APD figure out where to place cameras, at what height and what direction to better see crime.
A new report is highlighting the scope of organized crime in New Mexico. Assembled by the Organized Crime Commission, revived by Governor Lujan Grisham in May of last year, and headed by Bernalillo County District Attorney Sam Bregman. The report calls human trafficking one of the worst humanitarian crises in New Mexico, killing hundreds along the state's border every year. The OCC says its greatest success in fighting human trafficking this year was its 2-week-long Operation Disruption, where 200 migrants were rescued. The commission also shut down 10 illegal massage parlors involved in human trafficking, seizing $90,000 in illegal proceeds.
Operation Disruption was more than just an enforcement action. It was a humanitarian mission aimed at disrupting human trafficking organizations that prey on the vulnerable.
The report highlights the work of New Mexico State Police saving this woman's life, who was found in the desert with an internal temperature of 105 degrees. The OCC also says fentanyl continues to be the most dangerous drug in our state, contrary to popular belief, coming into the state mostly from Texas and Arizona, rather than through the southern border. A win for the commission is identifying major drug trafficking routes in the state and helping dismantle illegal cannabis operations, including the seizure of 160,000 pounds of illegal cannabis worth $2 million. The commission is now sharing what it needs to continue its work. It's asking lawmakers for $4.5 million in funding to expand to 10 full-time employees, buy new equipment, and create a centralized intelligence center under the New Mexico Department of Safety. It's also recommending updates